Are the Boston Celtics on the brink of a game-changing trade? With injuries piling up and crucial minutes being worn down, the front office is eyeing potential upgrades to bolster the bench. Imagine a seasoned player stepping into the mix, adding depth and experience just when the Celtics need it most. Who could it be, and what impact could they have on the playoff push? Stay tuned as we dive into the latest buzz surrounding the Celtics roster moves. The Boston Celtics faced a familiar challenge in their recent win against the Chicago Bulls, as they were missing key rotation players like Sam Hauser and Al Horford. It's been a short offseason, and the toll it takes on a roster can't be underestimated. The Celtics, who cruised through last season to secure the #1 seed, now find themselves battling injuries and fatigue as the season grinds on. With Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown logging heavy minutes, it's clear that Joe Mazzulla needs reliable depth to navigate this challenging stretch. One name that's been floating around as a potential trade target is Bulls wing Torrey Craig. Now, before you dismiss this as just another rumor, let's dig into why Craig could be a valuable addition to this Celtics squad. He's been sidelined since December 30th due to an ankle injury, but at 34 years old and with a modest salary of $2.85 million, he could fit seamlessly into Boston's plans, especially when considering the constraints of the salary cap. While the Celtics can't afford to disrupt their existing rotation, adding a player like Craig could provide the depth they desperately need. He's shown he can shoot the three at a solid clip, hitting over 39% from beyond the arc for 3 consecutive seasons. In a league where spacing is paramount, that shooting prowess could be a game changer, especially when the starters are taking a breather. We've seen the impact of reliable shooting in tight games. It can be the difference between advancing in the playoffs or going home early. Now I get it. Craig hasn't played much this season, and his past struggles with consistency might raise some eyebrows. But let's not forget his playoff experience. He's played in 75 playoff games since 2018, including 19 starts. That kind of experience is invaluable when the stakes are high. If the Celtics were to acquire him, they wouldn't necessarily need him to be a star. They would need him to be a dependable contributor who can step up when called upon. There's a certain comfort knowing that a player has been in those pressure-packed moments before. I'm really torn though. On one hand, adding Craig could bolster the bench and provide a much-needed safety net for Tatum and Brown. On the other hand, we have to consider the chemistry and dynamics of the current roster. Could this disrupt the flow? Would it be worth the cost of a second-round pick? These are tough questions that Brad Stevens and his staff must weigh carefully. As fans, we live and breathe every decision made by this organization. We want to see our beloved Celtics not just compete, but thrive. So, does this potential move put us on the right path? Honestly, I'm conflicted. On one hand, the depth is crucial, especially as we head toward the playoffs. But I also worry about how the addition of a new player could shake things up. The Boston Celtics find themselves in a tight spot this season, especially when it comes to wing depth. With the departures of Oshae Brissett and Svi Mykhailiuk, the team has struggled to fill those gaps adequately, relying heavily on double big lineups that often leave us wanting more. We all know that Joe Mazzulla's system thrives on floor spacing and versatility, but without enough wings, that vision has been hard to realize. Now there's been some buzz around a potential trade that could shake things up a bit. Jaden Springer, with his $4 million expiring contract, has emerged as a trade chip. ESPN's Bobby Marks recently highlighted Toumani Camara of the Portland Trail Blazers as a solid target for the Celtics. The proposed deal? Boston would send Springer, a 2025 first-round pick, and a 2030 second-round pick to the Blazers in exchange for Camara. Camara, a 2023 second-round pick, is having a decent season, averaging 9.6 points and impressively ranking in the 85th percentile in steals among wings. This is the kind of defensive versatility the Celtics desperately need. Plus, his contract is appealing. He has a non-guaranteed salary of $2 million next season and a team option of $2.4 million for 2026-27. For a team projected to spend nearly $500 million next season, this cost-controlled option could be a game changer. But let's take a step back and reflect on what this all means. The Celtics came into this season with championship aspirations but have struggled, sitting at 17-12 since December 1st. Mazzulla's offense relies on dynamic play, and when the team leans on big lineups that lack shooting and playmaking, it can become a real challenge. Adding a player like Camara could provide the much-needed depth on the wing, allowing the Celtics to play more fluidly and effectively. There's also been chatter about the Celtics building up Springer's trade value. Kevin O'Connor from Yahoo Sports mentioned on his podcast that Mazzulla has given Springer increased minutes lately, clearly trying to showcase what he can do. And honestly, he's had some bright moments. He contributed defensively and even hit some clutch threes. But here's where it gets complicated. Do we believe that trading Springer is the right move? Honestly, I'm torn. On one hand, Springer has shown flashes of brilliance and potential. On the other hand, if trading him for a player like Camara can solidify our wing depth and set us up for a deeper playoff run, it might just be worth it. The fans deserve a team that can contend, and making these calculated moves is part of the process. It's crucial to remember that the Celtics are not just playing for this season. Every decision they make has long-term implications, and we want a squad that can not only compete now, but also sustain that success in the future. If we bring in Camara and he can be that steady contributor off the bench, it could tilt the odds in our favor come playoff time. So, I want to hear from you, Celtics Nation. What do you think about this trade proposal? Is Camara the right fit for our team? Or do you believe we should hold on to Springer and see how he develops? Your thoughts matter, so share them down below. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel to stay updated on all things Celtics. Activate that notification bell so you won't miss any of the latest news and analysis. Together, let's keep the conversation going and rally behind our team as we push for greatness this season.